One wish gave Bear everything he ever wanted and turned his life into a waking nightmare. Tonight, we're digging into the mystery at the heart of horror's newest instant classic and finding out just how dangerous one little wish can be. What's up, freaks? Welcome to The Laughing Dead, your online advocate for bodily autonomy. I'm your host, Ethan, and tonight, we're going outside the show's usual format to take a look at the ultra-rare, ultra-elusive, amazing new release. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, they're not extinct. And while I created this channel specifically to appreciate the classics, I personally believe this brand new movie fits that bill. Obsession hit theaters in May of 2026 and quickly took the horror scene by storm. This is a film that got people talking, and all that talk led to Obsession breaking records in the box office. And it was all thanks to this guy, Curry Barker, who wrote, directed, and even edited the movie himself. Working closely with his friend and collaborator Cooper Tomlinson, Barker cut his production teeth on their YouTube channel called That's a Bad Idea. Obsession rounds out a list of modern blockbusters created by ascendant YouTubers that I'm convinced will one day be viewed as a modern horror renaissance. So today we dive into the mystery of the One Wish Willow, explore just what makes this movie so disturbing, and we'll even answer the highly contested question, is Bear big evil or just another victim? As always, this show contains spoilers, so with no further ado, The Laughing Dead is proud to review Obsession. Let's jump right in. The movie opens in a local diner where we meet Bear, this sad sap spilling his guts to the innocent waitress. And no, this isn't some twisted humiliation ritual. This is just his dork ass rehearsing to ask out Nikki, his close friend slash girl of his dreams, who happened to friend zone him way back in their high school days. In the judge's booth, we have Bear's best bro, Ian.
That freaked me out. Again, Nikki would vomit.
Who calls him like he sees him. After telling the waitress to kick rocks, Ian sits down to get into the nitty-gritty. See, Bear is pining for Nikki bad, and he wants to use the group's weekly trivia night to profess his love. Ian, ever the wise advisor, tells him to f*** off his trivia night.
That's all I have. I wake up every Wednesday, rock hard, thinking about trivia.
Oh yeah, and called Nikki names.
Remember when you used to get bullied, everybody called you Freaky Nikki? She'll be like, oh my God.
I'm watching this exchange, just dying inside from the cringe. But I think that's the point. Bear is f***ing pathetic. The entire early portion of the film is written to drive that fact into your mind. Bear gets back home to find his cat Sandy OD'd on Granny's Oxy, and I'm not convinced it wasn't deliberate. There's food right there. He sheds a quick tear before it's straight to Insta for the classic creep session. When Nikki calls, Bear lights up brighter than the phone screen. Dead cat totally forgotten. He agrees to show for trivia night, and when he hears Nikki lose her crystal necklace down the drain, his simp ass heads straight to the occult store to pick her up a new one. But while he's shopping, something across the store catches his eye. Tucked in between the authentic voodoo dolls and cursed kazoos, Bear finds the One Wish Willow. Packaged in a bright, playful box, the willow looks like any other trinket you could pick up at a novelty shop, but this one comes with a half-serious warning from the shopkeep.
Or they die, I wish they were dead.
I'm sure it'll be fine. On to Parker's Pub for trivia night, where we finally meet the rest of the crew. Obviously, we kinda already know Nikki, which only leaves Sarah. You see, they all work together at Sarah's dad's record store. So honestly, this whole thing could be more of a co-worker situationship than a devoted friends group, but who's to say? Of course, we get more examples of Bear being socially inept. He commits to following Nikki around like a little puppy, searching for his chance, which of course continues to elude him. Between Ian stepping up to cock block and his own self-sabotage, Bear just can't find his window of opportunity. Even when he volunteers to take Nikki home and they're alone in the car, he still can't nut up and tell her how he feels. Instead, he takes Ian's advice.
Night, Freaky Nikki.
Ew, don't call me that.
And at that, Nikki has had enough. She asks him straight up.
Do you like me?
And of course he pussies out.
I think we're good friends.
You know, I saw a lot of people online saying this was his big chance. If he had only told her here, she would have melted into his arms.
Booshy, booshy, booshy.
Sure, she looks a little disappointed, but judging from their interactions thus far, I think she was gonna shut him down. Make it real clear that she values their friendship too much. And I think Bear knows somewhere deep down that that's exactly what was about to happen. That's why he deflects when given his chance on a golden platter. Nikki heads for her front door, while Bear has a mini crash out in his front seat. In desperation, he pulls out the willow, and he makes his wish.
I wish Nikki Freeman loved me more than anyone in the fucking world.
And with a snap, the real Nikki is gone. And immediately seems like, well, she's a little off.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Bear thinks maybe it'll be fine. Curry Barker gives us a campy little relationship montage straight out of a romantic comedy. The upbeat background score grants a tonal dissonance to the dark truth of what's happening. See more and more often, especially when they're, say, in the bedroom, the magic of Bear's wish starts to fade, allowing the real Nikki to show through.
What the fuck?
And she is not into this. And Bear? Well, he could care less. He's far more concerned with her not acting as he wishes. See, apparently she keeps upsetting him.
How's this?
And things only escalate from here. It's like the more Bear tries to pretend that this is a normal consenting relationship, the more often Freaky Nikki does some freaky shit to freak him out.
Not great.
Kudos to actress Indy Navarrete, who simply nails this performance. Her moments of madness are only outshined by the genuine terror of real Nikki when she comes to the surface.
Just kill me.
Before long, the little friend group is in tatters. This imposter is nothing like the real Nikki, so her real friends are pretty concerned. But they have no idea how bad it truly is until the night of Ian's party. The evening starts off calm enough, but all it takes is a round of drunk Jenga just to prove how fixated Nikki has become. When Bear pulls a block instructing him to kiss the person to his left, Sarah is physically removed from the equation. And this shit had me laughing a little too hard.
There's something wrong with me.
To cap off the embarrassment, she proclaims her undying love for Bear to everyone in the room.
Nikki, you okay?
Seriously killing the vibe for one, but also tormenting the real Nikki, a tragic passenger in her own body. She can't take it anymore. She forces her way to the surface and attempts to end it all. And again, Bear does nothing. And why would he? He knows the truth. He made the diabolical decision to try to make it work, whatever the hell that means. See, earlier in the film, he gave a half-hearted effort to alter his wish. Not cancel it, by the way, just alter it. By dialing the customer service number on the back of the box. The bored man who answers basically tells him he's f***ed. In order to break the power of the wish, he'd have to end his life. The call is cut short when the man puts Nikki on the line. Her miserable scream says it all. So clearly Bear is some kind of sick, selfish bastard. The fact that several YouTubers stepped up to defend him leaves me baffled. Okay, sure, he's a victim in some ways. He had no idea what was coming when he made that wish. But once he understands exactly what he's done to Nikki, every single subsequent decision becomes his own, and he's gotta own that shit. So he takes her to the hospital, but Nikki denies service. So it's back to the house where Bear sits her down and tries yet again to lecture her on how he wants her to act.
Why did you act like that tonight?
And this goes about as well as you would expect.
Like, take some space from each other, okay? But we have to. We have to take space from each other.
They clash throughout the night, and Bear seems to have no desire to try and calm the situation. Finally, Freaky Nikki passes out. Bear starts getting messages from Sarah coaxing him down to the park. And I gotta say, this is the most fucked up, heartbreaking, and hands down my favorite scene of the movie. Bear hops into Sarah's car, and she starts filling him in. Apparently Ian's been hooking up with Nikki for years, that dirty dog. And honestly, it explains a lot about what we've seen out of Ian so far. Just as it's dawning on Bear that he probably should have been with Sarah all along, Nikki comes crashing through the window and positively decimates Sarah with a brick. It's prime brutality, a cacophony of pure violence that would have earned this movie an X rating if it were released in the 80s. Now at this point, I thought for sure Bear would just call the cops on her and let, that mess kind of clean itself up. But perhaps he earns maybe a half a point on the morality scale, because instead, he finally gets his ass in gear trying to end this curse. First, he heads back to the occult store that sold him the Willow, and the guy on shift this time is no help.
I need to reverse it.
No.
Bear walks out with the remaining 2 wishing willows and quickly finds that they aren't kidding when they say you only get 1 wish. So it's off to Ian's place. Bear explains the whole twisted situation, begging Ian to use his wish to cancel out his own. But in a classic dick move, Ian wishes for $1 billion. What an asshole. So Bear is down to his final option. He's gonna try to get Nikki to do it. But typical for Bear, he just doesn't get a chance. Freaky Nikki is in full effect. And the intensity of this scene is almost indescribable. She's screaming through her vomit, vomiting through her screams, waving a gun around when it's not in her mouth. With the world's worst timing, Ian busts through the front door just to catch a bullet in the dome, marking yet another victim of Bear's wish. Defeated, Bear finally calms Freaky Nikki, at least for the moment. He retreats to the bathroom where he resigns himself to do what he knows must be done. Unsurprisingly, he doesn't have the guts to use the gun, so he opts to go the way of Sandy the cat, death by oxy. As he's struggling to neck the pills down, he hears a little snap like that of a willow branch. Instantly, his whole mood changes, and he rises to meet his love. You see, Freaky Nikki made a wish of her own, but before you know it, those narcotics take effect. Bear falls dead on the floor. Freaky Nikki nearly follows him into the great beyond before, poof, the magic is gone. Nikki is free, but what's left for her? Final thoughts. Obsession is truly a horror masterpiece. Curry Barker took a simple premise and executed it so perfectly, the result came out fresh and unique. The psychological aspect digs into your mind, and the slow burn is more than satisfied by the dark, bloody ending. And sure, the lore is basically non-existent, but did you need to know where the Mogwai came from to enjoy Gremlins? I think not. At the end of the day, Barker delivered a disturbing piece that has inspired terror and fascination in a huge audience. And for that, we can all be thankful. If you had a good time tonight, obsess over that like button. Maybe prove your love by subscribing to the channel. In the meantime, keep them scary movies rolling. And remember, if you laugh when others scream, you found your home. This has been The Laughing Dead. Have a good night.